Watch this punch out by T.J. Watt. Perfectly calculated punch. Now, Jalen's carrying the ball in his wrong hand. It's in his right hand with the sideline right there. So Jalen's wrong. But as soon as T.J. saw that ball in his right hand, he calculated this punch out. Like the Steelers have forced 24 fumbles. This was their 14th fumble recovery right here by Beanie Bishop. Perfect popping the balloon right there by T.J. and Beanie Bishop with the recovery. Lead the league in takeaways with 29. Practices were like this at Georgia. Nolan Smith, Jalen Carter, Jordan Davis, Nakobe Dean, Broderick Jones, Darnell Washington. 6 Bulldogs right here. Let's watch Nolan Smith just throw Darnell Washington. Let's watch him just throw him. Just help him right here. All right, here comes Jalen Carter. He's getting driven right there by Broderick Jones. And there is Chauncey Gardner-Johnson at the bottom. But there's a whole bunch of Bulldogs right there. Carter, Davis, Nolan Smith, Broderick Jones, Washington. There's a whole bunch of Bulldogs in that pile. I'd probably like the way practice used to be. The rushes here on 3rd down. Let's watch Josh Sweat against Dan Moore. Like he's going for the cross chop. He doesn't quite get it, but he still gets that leg through right here. So he's coming from one side. Now watch this rush by Nolan Smith from the other side against his former teammate here, Broderick Jones. Like you watch how low he is and the power that he comes through with. Now both ends get to Russell Wilson. All right, and down he goes. It's just a 4-man rush. 4-man rush on 3rd and 10. Sweat gets the sack. Nolan Smith was a big part of it. And the celebration is on. Like, there's no time to get the ball down the field against those vultures. We have A.J. Brown and Devontae Smith. It's really not that hard to get him the ball. Like, here's just a little play action right here. Roll. And just spacing. All right? Zone coverage right here. Just get it. Let A.J. do what he does. He averages 17 yards a catch. He's dangerous as hell after the catch. So now you look at him right here, and you go, here they are. Devontae and A.J. Now you just run this little fade route right here. And look, Joey Porter's a good player, but he ain't beating A.J. Brown for that ball in the air. No way. No way, no how. Now you get here. All right, first touchdown of the game. Dante Jackson on him. Like, here they are in this little wing tee action right here. Play action. And really, the way that A.J. times it up, it looks like it's an inside run. So he slow plays it right here, and then he bursts. And then Jalen put it right on him. And you watch it right here, and you've got Wilson there, and they got Devontae here. Devontae pitched up the blitz off the edge. And then no hesitation here. Just fire it. Perfect place. Touchdown. AJ's in the end zone. First touchdown of the day. Now you get this right here. All right? Up there at the top. All right? You can see just like this in cut right here and the separation he gets. And then they can't tackle him. He's just too strong and too violent with the ball in his hands. Now you get down here right here, right? 4th quarter, all right? What can you do right here? Again, like he just throws Joey Porter right out of the way. Just tosses him like a 2-hand swipe right there. Joey Porter's like, man, he pushed me. Yeah, he did. He's bigger and stronger than you. That's why. Then you get this right here. 4th quarter, time to put him away. Here you go. Like this little in-cut. Look at him come back to the ball. And then pivot on the catch and just refute. Ooh, tough tackle right there by Pierre. Anyways, great day by A.J. Brown, Jalen, Devontae. Everybody should be happy. Great offense. Beat a good team. Destroyed a good team. Jalen right here, make this decision. Like you see, Landon Roberts is the only linebacker. It's a light 5-man box. So he's getting like, Saquon, you get over here. And we're going to pull Juergens right here. Like we used to pull Kelsey. And we're going to run right out of Landon Roberts. Like, you look at how big it's a canyon to run through. So, they're just difficult to defend. Because even if you do try to take things away, the amount of time that this offensive line gives Jalen Hurts to make decisions, like, nobody gets this kind of time. Becton stabbing Montravius Adams. Like, he's got time right here. Do anything he wants to do. Step up, find Devontae, bingo. Another 20-yard gain. Then he sees this right here. Like he's seeing this Steelers defense just completely open up. Like he's supposed to foul Juergens on this play. Like but he sees this. He's like, I don't need to follow Jarvis. I'll just go make the free safety miss, run right by him. Maybe TJ Watt can keep me out of the end zone. And then this is just unfair. To have this kind of time right here is just not fair. Like, he's got time to do online shopping right here. Christmas shopping, you want to go online, he's got time to go through, I don't know, Amazon right here. I don't know what website he's on right here. But you know what? A point. I got time. Like, nobody gets this kind of time. And he'll find Devontae Smith in the middle of the field. Like, the offensive line was outrageously good. First touchdown of the day, that's A.J. Brown against Dante Jackson. Look at Devontae Smith in protection against Beanie Bishop right here. Play action, everybody steps up, and there's A.J. Brown against Jackson. Nice pitching catch, nice easy throw. Found good ways to get A.J. and Devontae the ball. It's not that hard. The passing game picked up. A.J. was a star, the way he is, the way he should be. And it all worked out. And they beat a good football team. And they needed A.J., they needed Devontae, they need Jalen to play a great game. And they did it all. And they've won their 10th game in a row. Is that the first time in Eagle history they've ever won 10 in a row? I think it is.
The Pittsburgh Steelers got absolutely destroyed by the Philadelphia Eagles yesterday. The Steelers lost the game 27-13, and the Steelers' offense was absolutely terrible all day. And the Steelers' defense, for most of the game, other than a few turnovers, was also terrible. And this breakdown, it was done by Brian Baldwinger. Baldy NFL is his handle on X. Go ahead and follow him. He's a former NFL player, but now he does breakdowns and gives analysis of NFL teams and players. Give him a follow, and also make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn on notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news and updates and film breakdowns reactions. Now, let's get right back into it. So, this is the real reason why the Pittsburgh Steelers were just so terrible, both on offense and for most of the game on defense, other than turnovers. So you look at the offense side for the Pittsburgh Steelers, they just couldn't get anything going. They could start on their own side of the field. They could start on the Philadelphia side of the field after turnovers. It doesn't matter where they started. They just couldn't get yards. And when they did, they just put themselves back with penalties. Yes, you could admit that some of the penalties should have been called in Philadelphia, could have been offsetting, but still, the Steelers put themselves back based off the mistakes that they made. Russell Wilson was only able to put up 128 yards, 1 touchdown, and looking at the running game, in which the Pittsburgh Steelers, that's been the consensus of what they do on offense. Najee Harris, 6 carries, 14 yards, and that was the most yardage by a running back that the Pittsburgh Steelers had. You also look at the receiving game, they didn't have the huge playmaker. Outside of a few catches by Terrell Austin, who put up 65 yards, and Pat Freiermuth, who put up 22 and a touchdown, they just really couldn't get anything going in the passing game. And the Steelers' offense was just so bland that the Eagles really didn't have to do anything too special to get to the Pittsburgh Steelers in trouble. They just couldn't get open. The Steelers just couldn't get yards any way possible, both on the passing game and running game, and it was just a terrible day for the Steelers offense. And the scheme of the Steelers offense just has been terrible all season. It seems like they run the exact same play 5 times a game, and they just don't know what they're doing out there. It looks like sometimes they're just not in the right set. They're confused of what they're running, and Arthur Smith is just calling the same exact play every single time and just hoping something else just opens up when it just hasn't been working. For example, they've been running this one play where Connor Hayward goes in motion and lines up as a tight end, goes to a fullback. There's a pitch to the outside. They just can't seem to run block on that play, but just continuously gets called. And also, they come out in sets where they have Scotty Miller on the field instead of some of their top wide receivers. They barely play Mike Williams even after he's been on this team for 50 days now. They just seem to be living in their fears on offense and just trying to settle in for field goals because they're scared of getting touchdowns. So the Steelers' offense has been struggling, and that's part of the reason why the Steelers have been so bad on defense in this game, because the offense couldn't stay on the field long enough, and the defense was just on the field all game. You look at the punt fumble that the Steelers caused. Yes, that was a quick turnaround. Steelers got the ball on 20-yard line. Couldn't do anything with it. Penalty, end up getting a field goal. They couldn't do anything. They only scored 3 points. You also look at the fumble that TJ Watt caused. They got the ball on like the 45-yard line. They ended up getting to the 40, took a sack, and then they couldn't even get a field goal out of that drive. So that put them back. So the Steelers offense just couldn't stay on the field long enough. They couldn't do anything. And then the defense at some point is going to get worn down. At some point they're going to let up points. And that's what happened. They weren't letting up points at the beginning of the game. But then later towards the end of the game, when they started getting tired, started being on the field all game long, that's when the Eagles started wearing them down, started scoring points, and started putting together long drives. And at that point, the game was over. The Steelers couldn't stop anything. You look at the cornerback room for the Steelers, it just seems as though they really don't have anyone there right now who's a lockdown defender. Yes, you look at Joey Porter Jr., and he's supposed to be the guy, but as of right now, he's been struggling. Dante Jackson, I don't believe, outside of his 5 interceptions, he's really a key defender for this team. Personally, that's my opinion. That's not overreaction, I believe. That's my thoughts. Outside the 5 interceptions, it seems as though he always lets up big yardage and big touchdowns and big plays, things like that. So outside of that, James Pierre, he's not going to be a starter, capable player for this team. I believe Corey Trice Jr., who's maybe your second best outside cornerback on the team when healthy, is inactive every week. He's inactive 2 weeks in a row. Yes, he's coming back from injury, but inactive 2 weeks in a row doesn't make sense when I believe he could be your second best cornerback. But the Steelers are going to do things on defense. Terrell Austin, defense coordinator, hasn't been doing anything for the Steelers defense in quite some time. I'm surprised he's still the defense coordinator, to be honest. It just seems as though he's getting carried by his superstar players like TJ Watt, Cameron Hayward, Minka Fitzpatrick, Alex Highsmith, players like that. His blitz scheme, he doesn't have one. The Steelers had injuries for the Philadelphia Eagles in terms of Lane Johnson being out for some time, a little bit. And you also look at Landon Dickerson. He was out for most of the game as well. But the Steelers, going up against a depleted offensive lineman, didn't send any blitzes. You would think having new guys in there on the offensive line for the Eagles, the Steelers would put some pressure on them. But no, didn't do anything. Just a bland defensive scheme all around. And the Eagles picked them apart when they started getting familiar with it. So that's kind of the real reason why the Steelers offense and defense was bad. The schematics of things was just not good. Mike Tomlin basically called out the coaching staff after the game, saying that he did not like the coaching in this game. But altogether, just a bad game for the Steelers. You throw it the window, you learn from it, and you move on next week and you face the Ravens and hopefully win the AFC North. But anyway, the Pittsburgh Steelers have clinched a playoff spot. It doesn't matter if they won or lost, they clinched a playoff spot with the Colts losing. But hopefully the Steelers are better and they could turn things around. This is just one game. Don't overreact, but they need to get things together against some of the best teams coming up here shortly. Let's take a quick look on some of the things the Steelers did good. For example, TJ Watt, he basically wrecked the game in the first half. He also put Lane Johnson on his skates all day, the best right tackle in the league. TJ Watt gave him problems, gave him nightmares. Hopefully his injury isn't too bad and he's able to play this upcoming week against the Ravens. It looked bad when it first happened, but he's really the only bright spot for this Pittsburgh Steelers. He's been getting chipped all season long, the most chipped player in the league, but he was getting one-on-ones and he showed what he could do. And that's why he's not left on one-on-ones most of the season. With that being said, that's in this video. Like I said, this breakdown was done once again by Brian Baldwinger. Baldy NFL's his handle on X. Go ahead and follow him. And also make sure you subscribe to this channel and turn notifications for everything Pittsburgh Steelers news, updates, highlights, analysis, reports, rumors, everything surrounding Pittsburgh Steelers, covering it on this channel. Also reactions as well. And before I end it, make sure you comment down below your thoughts on this breakdown and your thoughts on why the Steelers lost this game and was so bad against the Eagles. But until next time, I'll see you guys all later. I'm out. Peace.